definitely a fun one to watch, and not one you get to see all of the time anyways. You know, we get to see Björn playing a lot already. We don't get to see Neeb so much. So let's see how this goes, guys. Thank you for sticking with us, and let's go in-game finally to introduce our first players of today's SGL playoffs. To the bottom right-hand side, we're going to be going in with the yellow Protoss player from Ting. It's going to be Neeb. And in the upper left-hand side is going to be the red Zerg player from Psystorm Gaming. It is True, who will be looking to see if he can make a bit of an impact on a player who has really just been dominant lately. Neeb, maybe not the... I mean, he has had the best of results offline, apart from not winning a tournament. I mean, second place at IEM, round of 4 at WCS Summer. So he hasn't had, you know, he hasn't won a tournament, but they're still very good results. And online, he's been killing it as well. He did very well in his group stages, did Neeb. He actually lost out to Violet, showing a little bit of weakness there, but he did take down Gumiho. And so he actually came through this his group with Gumiho, with Violet instead of Gumiho getting through. So Neeb made it through against Gumiho, and he's also been taking down names in Elimo leagues and all sorts, so he really is a player to watch out for. As we're going to be seeing this first overall just coming across the map. So Neeb, yeah, he's been very scary lately, especially since he's moved to Korea. These online cups he does play in, while he doesn't play in a lot of them, when he does play, he looks very, very good. As we're going to be seeing here, probably a Cybercore coming down. And there it is. So Cyber Next Core comes down just to the side here for Neeb. I mean, it's a very standard opening so far, just expanding into his gateway into expansion into that Cyber Next Core now as well. I'm going to see the spawning pool is on the way up from True, so spawning pool coming in for True. We're just going to be seeing this probe from Neeb. Just going to be looking to see if he can block off the third hatchery for a little while. True, of course, probably wants to go up towards 3 hatches. I mean, it is a map actually where if you want to, you can play sort of a longer kind of, well, not longer, but like a very quick kind of 2-base sort of aggressive players, just because the rush distance is very short on this map. But generally we see the Zergs don't tend to do that super often anyways, and sometimes when they do, they even do it with a third hatchery to maybe fall back on as well. When is Millennium versus Liquid? That will be in 4.5 hours time. We are hoping to be able to obviously just stay alive, and so kind of go from the SGL into Liquid versus Millennium. What I'll do is I'll try and get my hands on some of the replays from the other round of 8 games, so even if we finish a little bit early here in the SGL, we'll just cast some replays to kind of keep things going until Liquid Millennium kicks off this evening. It's going to be a fantastic day of StarCraft from us, from the SGL playoffs through to Liquid and Millennium. It's going to be one hell of a day. Let's hope for all 7 games later on. I mean, how fantastic would that be? Another fantastic finals. We actually almost always gifted with great finals in the SC2 ITLs. I think every finals we've ever had has always been at least 6 games, apart from one season where who won? It was AT Gaming won, but that was actually a huge upset with an all-kin coming in from an unexpected player, so it was still a really good series. So really looking forward to all of that, guys. We see Neeb here early on, as we come back to focus on this game. Neeb here early on has just got Resonating Glaives on the way up. He's just gone Adept across the map. It's a very standard opening here for Frozen Temple. It's really nothing too out of the ordinary, so Adept going to shade up in towards... I actually don't know. Is it shade back home? Okay, it's just been shading back home. Okay, cool. However, some Zerglings here are going to start catching this, so a few Lings come in. They're going to be able to catch this and see what they can do. Sorry, guys. Yeah, so a couple of Lings catching Adept. I mean, that's nice. The more Adepts you kill early, the better, because then the less that are going to come in later on is going to see, wow, that's a nice little pick off. 2 Lings, actually, so True not paying enough attention there. He does lose a couple of Lings. He tries to run in towards the natural expansion, but gets turned away by an Adept in the wall. Those Warp Gates starting to finish up and come into play now as well, so he's going to have about 6 Adepts to move across the map with. Maybe he waits for 9. He does actually have time to go into another Warp in before Glaives finishes, so he might wait for 9 before he moves across rather than just going with 6. He's just going to go with the 6. So 6 Adepts going across the map. I mean, True is already preparing quite nicely for this. Plenty of Roaches on the way. In fact, he's actually on a fairly low drone count, so what True might be doing here is he might be looking to just shut down these Adepts super quickly and then go for a very quick counterattack just to try and win out. And he's actually going to pick off one Adept here almost straight away. And those Adepts, they're going to keep shading on through. They're going to commit. I mean, I don't think they're going to kind of just suddenly pull back. So they are going to commit into the natural. True pulls back, maybe not expecting Neeb to commit here. I mean, his Roach is now out of position. Lings come in, more Roaches come in as well. 20 more drones, 20 more Lings in production. Some more Zerglings being made as Roaches making their way across the map. And, well, how much is True going to be able to get done with this? Because it's going to be a lot of units which he has now. But he is behind by about 10 workers, so he has to do something to make up for this worker deficit at this point in the game. As down to the bottom right side we go. A few Ravagers are going to start morphing in. These pylons up on the high ground, they're not going to be here ready in time, as we're going to see them having to be cancelled right now. There's a good amount of Adepts and a couple of sentries here as well. Overchargers will go down. We have Ravagers, of course, loaded to try and bust down pylons or just to force units into worse positions. We actually see a sentry going down without actually anything being used from it. A couple of Baals coming down here as well. He's going to work his way into the natural expansion. Another couple of Roaches and a lot more Zerglings coming in from the back, and we are going to see these units starting to move through here. We're going to see a couple of Baals coming down and warning a couple of Baals as though he's saying, you know what, be careful if you shoot those Adepts in there, they're going to get hit. So True is actually doing some good damage right now. More Lings and Ravagers are on the way in the production tab. Guardian Shield is popped as he tries to fight into this Neeb, and he's not having the best of times. He's losing workers in his natural mineral line as these Adepts can continue pushing on forwards. A few Baals will go down. He will not quite kill the Mothership Core yet. But where did he drop the overcharge anyways? We've seen a Mortal popping out as well just to try help out these Adepts trying to hold on. Mothership Core adding on damage. He pulls back. An overcharge over to the left side here right now would be fantastic. Get rid of some of these Zerglings just a little bit faster. See the Baals coming down. He moves the Immortal out of the way though. Good micro by Neeb. He's hurting, but he's not dead. And this is important. I mean, he's actually only 3 workers behind after all is said and done here. So if he can hold on, this isn't so bad. 19 workers killed, yes. But it was a big commitment from True to do this. However, he's still got a lot of units here as we see now. Corrosive Bar's going to come down. Probe's actually pulled to some extent to help out against this. And this is Neeb now taking more damage, which he maybe can't afford to take. And Immortal pops out in an unfortunate position. But True's going to back away. He's not going to keep fighting this. And with 7 more workers killed, Neeb comes out. There's 10 workers behind, but he is going to hold on. And he will maintain a tech advantage. I mean, we talk about True in this game. He's only got Zerglings and Roaches. That's not good tech. That's not really enough. His work count is not out of this world. And Neeb, well, he needs to still hold on, of course. We see more units coming in towards the main base. A lot of Zerglings going to stream in here now. He tries to get away towards the kind of side where he's going to have a little bit less surface area on these Adepts, try and clump them up a little bit more. You're going to see a few of them going over to the right-hand side. Probes will be pulled across, probably into the natural expansion, where they'll aim to go in. Oh, this is going to be painful. He's going to lose power to all of his gateways now, so he has no gateway production anymore. So this does become much more painful for him. However, he's starting to clean out a few more of these units. He needs to repower these gateways. He needs to get Adept probes on these pylons, on these ASAP. A few Adept shading over here as well as Neeb continues to just try and hold on in the very late stages of this now. Few Lings going to get turned away. Roaches will join up together as well from True. 16 probes have fallen. We're going to see 5 Ravagers being added on currently. And a few extra probes still being brought into play. Adepts and Immortals just going to be coming forwards. I mean, there's still a lot of Immortals. He has a lot of firepower, but there's just not enough to protect them. As the Lings will wrap around, the Immortals will fall, and True is going to end up taking game number 1 finals later today. To the bottom right side of Frost, we're going to have our yellow Protoss player representing Ting. It's going to be Neeb. And to the bottom left-hand side, our red Zerg player from Systorm Gaming. Ladies and gentlemen, it is True. So yeah, it'd be nice if we could end up casting all of these matches, even if we know the results at the end of the day and we end up casting, you know, we do the round of 8, round of 8 games from replays. It'd still be nice just to get like a complete set of games and, you know, I mean, a few more matches is a few more matches, right? So, still some more StarCraft to watch. And again, I get the feeling we might need a little bit of filler time before that grand finals of the SC2 ITL. So, going to be seeing a hatchery first coming down here from True right now. So he's going to open with a hatchery first. We're going to be seeing what's going on across the map. Well, it's actually going to be a Nexus first out of Neeb, so both players going to opt for that early economy-focused build. Obviously, this is a bit stranger from Neeb, or a bit more interesting from Neeb than it is from True. As Zerg players generally do open hatchery first. So Nexus first. One of the things I love about the Nexus first is that you generally see it kind of leading into a couple of gateways very early on. It actually really allows you to apply a lot of pressure. So, it'll be interesting to see how this goes as we set up early on in this game. How often do I release replay packs to subs, and what events does it often contain? Well, I was actually meant to send one out last night, but I didn't, honestly. So it's going to be going out today. I'm going to make sure I write it down. So replay packs. So I'm going to be sending out a replay pack today. We send replay packs out at the end of every month, and it involves pretty much all the games we see on the stream. Certain Lei Feng matches, or certain times certain players will be like, hey, can you not release my replays because I've got an important match coming up or something. So sometimes it doesn't include all of them, but you know, it generally has like 300 to 400 replays in there a month. There's generally quite a lot, so this month especially will be huge because we've casted a lot in August. So there's going to be NSL replays, Lei Feng replays, we'll have the SGL replays as well. And there's going to be a lot of replays in there, and that'll be going out, I'd like to say tonight after the Team League, so It's on my list. It's on the top of my list of things to do, so as soon as I get some free time later today, it will be what I'll be doing. So replay packs to subs, going out tonight. That's the August replay pack. And again, it goes out at the end of every month. Of course, subscribing, great way to support the channel if you are enjoying the cast and enjoying the content, so do consider that, of course. If not, do remember there's a follow button as well, which is a great way to just see when we're going live again into the future. Into the future, in the future. Alright, so, what is going on here? You see Twilight Council starting to come down from Neeb, so he sets up with a Twilight Council. You see the third hatch coming down from True off to this side, so just going to be seeing True kind of get this set up, ready to go. And yeah, it's interesting, Neeb going into the Twilight once again very early on in this, so just going to be dropping that Twilight down. It's coming up, it's just over halfway done right now. It will be coming to completion very, very shortly, so Twilight going to be finishing shortly indeed. Over here we have this hatchery, going to be finishing up from True, so that's going to be finishing in a moment or so as well. I'm just going to be seeing that Adept just continue to shade in towards that natural expansion and having a little bit of a look to see what it can spot, but the answer is not very much. You see Resonating Glaives being added on here by Neeb, so pretty much what we'd expect, adding on a third gateway now as well. I do find it interesting Neeb doesn't really get too aggressive with his initial Adepts despite having 2 gates of production right from the get-go. There's actually oftentimes off of Nexus first you actually see like the Stargate based opening where you actually end up with a you actually do end up with like a kind of 8 Adepts, but you just go across the map without glaives or anything, and then you just kind of you know, have the Stargate based follow-up. So yeah, I mean, glaives is pretty standard though. I mean, especially in horizontal spawns, it means the Adepts can still strike quickly, and it's just a solid way to get up in towards a third base. Obviously this time around, True, Neeb will be hoping that True doesn't get as aggressive, or if he does, Neeb will be hoping he himself is going to find a bit of a better answer. He did hold on for so long in that last game. It was very, very close for a long time. He was really kind of just touch and go at all points, kind of almost holding it off. In the end, it just wasn't quite enough, so you'll see these few extra Adepts just going to warp in once again. Rotron is going to be finishing in a few moments. And a few extra Zerglings being added on it as well. I mean, obviously, True is going to have to start preparing for this Adept attack as Neeb starts to shade through the center of the map, coming into the left-hand side. And Neeb, well, here we go. You're going to see those Adepts shading forwards. You're going to see the drone going to go down, that Queen being targeted as well. So Queen goes down very quickly, and Adepts actually end up shading towards the ramp here. I'm going to take down a few more of those Zerglings drones. Going to be under fire here as well. And this is True just not really prepared for this. There's going to be a second Queen now going down. As Lings do come in and surround, so the Queen survives. The Adepts go back towards the third base. And, well, over here they can trade against low number of roaches very easily. So, just going to be seeing those Adepts just backing way to the right. And, well, 4 drones killed, but you might get more. Because look at this. There's nothing in position to deal with those Adepts, but actually a few more roaches coming out. So Neeb going to start heading back home. This is a lot of roaches now from True. He's once again about that 35 to 40 worker mark and just starting to spam units. So a lot of Lings, a lot of roaches on the way. I think one of the important things for Neeb this time around is he does keep a lot of his Adepts alive straight away. He isn't going to have, you know, he doesn't commit them and lose them like he did in the first game. So he's going to have a much bigger army straight away. He has the overcharge in good position, and he's got force fields. And I really think the sentries never really came into fruition for him last time around. But this time, I mean, we always see him using a force field to grab a roach or two, just defend a bit longer. And this really does look a lot more hopeful from Neeb as True, well, he just tries to see what he can get done with this right now. Mothership Core working his way through a few roaches. Lings coming in as well. A few Ravagers start to morph in too. And we are going to be seeing a few more Adepts just going to actually shade away. I wonder what this is going to be for. I wonder if he's just going to see if there's reinforcements come in or not. He sees they're not, and then he'll come back with these Adepts, as we'll just be seeing the units moving in. It's a little bit awkward right now. Maybe a couple of force fields necessary. This is True putting himself in a position between the natural and the third, and this forces Neeb to fight up this ramp into this position. Ooh, battles starting to connect there, as we'll see. Mothership Core can get a closer battle towards the natural expansion. These are really nice battles actually onto the army. Overcharge comes in towards that natural expansion, which is definitely something we need to see. And we see the Mothership Core dodging away. It still has energy, so he really wants to keep this alive. We're going to see it going down right now, though it didn't move it away in time there. And that's a missing overcharge now as Neeb comes up this ramp. Can he hold this off? He's got a couple of mortars. He's got another one build and a +1 upgrade. He's continuing to come in as well, as you see Zerglings, Roaches, Ravagers. I mean, there might just be too much right now from True. He comes down this ramp. He's starting to clean out those units. Neeb dodging away from Biles once again. Neeb is really struggling against this build. This is the second game in a row where he's looking very troubled against the exact same thing. It looked a lot better for him initially this time around. I mean, it's not over yet. He still has 3 Immortals. He still actually has units to tank, and he can afford to lose some workers. He still sits 14 workers in the lead. As we're going to be seeing these Lings and Roaches and Ravagers, seeing what else they can do, continuing to fight here. Zerglings are starting to go down. A couple more Adepts coming into play. You're going to see those Roaches continue to take a lot more damage. A few Adepts coming in from the right-hand side. A couple of Ravagers getting taken down. The numbers are decreasing here. And Neeb is looking as though he might very well end up holding on. For a few moments, it did look as though he just didn't quite have enough. But then, you know, as the Mortals count keeps growing, he keeps those alive. That's really, really, really nice defense. However, look at this. More Ravagers coming in. True is not going to give this up. Getting ready to go once again. Battles will try to hit that Mothership Core. Dodges. Nice bird rebuild that Mothership Core. Neeb's trying to get rid of these these set of rocks, because the rocks are actually very annoying right now, because it means he can't actually move up this ramp as easily. Has to dodge away from Vials once again as he comes up this ramp. A couple of Ravagers in the front are very low. We're going to see the Lings coming in from the left-hand side. That's what them Zerglings are going to be very good at dealing with, though. These couple of Mortals need to be careful. They need to try and stay back, as actually Neeb is just going to crush his way through this. Now the Ravagers go down, and that's pretty much it. Goodbye and good night for True, because he is going to be out of this game, and we're going to be going to Galactic Process almost definitely at this point in time. 58 army supply to the 34. Neeb with a +1 upgrade on his side. Most importantly, I think, during all of this is Neeb's retention of units. He had all of those Immortals from start to finish staying alive. He didn't. To top right-hand side, our Yellow Protoss player tying this series up 1 game apiece, figuring out how to hold things off or hold off that push. In the second game, it is going to be Neeb representing Ting. And down to the bottom left-hand side, our red Zerg player from Storm Gaming. He took map 1. His attack didn't work in game 2, though. Let's see if he can pull out something a little bit different, something that'll work out for him in map number 3. It is True. As we set up into this, wait to see what exactly the build orders are going to be. Immediately here, Neeb is going to play is going to put down this gateway at the front. Let's get this set up and ready to go. Is this the only quarterfinal today? Yes. No. All the quarterfinals are played at the same time, but so obviously we can't cast them all. And then the semi-finals and finals are played one after the other. And what we'll try and do is we'll try and get our hands on some of the replays to kind of cast a little bit later on. So we'll try and cast those just a little bit later for you guys. Alright. So, we're going to be seeing a probe coming down to this low ground here. Nexus will go down. You can see that gateway just about to finish up, and probably a cyber core coming down in a few moments as well. So, nothing too crazy here straight away. Again, guys, I'm not casting all of the round of 8s, but we will cast both the semi-finals and the finals here today. And again, we will try and cast the round of 8s that we don't get to cast now. We'll try and cast them from replays later on, but I can't guarantee getting those replays. That's just something we've got to kind of hope for here, basically, in this series. Or in this tournament. It's something I talked to the organizer about. I said, hey, man, you know, when you've got quarterfinals that are this good, it's absolutely ridiculous that we don't get to see them all. And he was like, okay, well, we'll see what we can do for the future. So hopefully for future events it's going to change up a little bit. Fingers crossed, at least. Alright, so setting up into game number 3 of this. Let's see what's going to happen. I mean, not much going on right from the get-go. Nexus on the way down, Neeb's walled off. True going to go into his nice fast third hatchery. This time Neeb doesn't really get much of a chance to block that. His probe actually took a little bit of damage there, so just coming back early. Doesn't do too much blocking or anything like that. Twilight Cancel is on the way down here, coming up to being about halfway done. I'm just going to be seeing that Adept. Just moving across the map. So always this sort of early Adept, just having a little bit of a look around to see what's going to be going on. We are once again going to see this Twilight Council. So I think one thing that's maybe interesting to note on this map is that we may, even though we see the Twilight Council and probably the Resonating Glaives, we probably still won't see the same attack from True, because it's not an easy map to attack into the third base on. Like Frozen Temple, you have that open third base, fairly similar on Frost. On this map, there's only going to be one way up here from True, and that's up this ramp, unless he takes the time to take down these rocks. But by the time he takes down the rocks, that's going to have wasted a lot of time. So we'll see how this is going to continue. And it's just going to be seeing the Resonating Glaive starting up here, and there's that robotics facility coming on down from Neeb. So Robo facility coming down here, so it is a little bit different that Robo comes down much sooner than before. if I'm not mistaken. So we'll see how much he commits to. Again, he should be moving in towards a third base fairly soon. Obviously, the sooner he gets his third base up, the better generally. But his build will be timed out to kind of take that third within the next minute or so. As we have, well, Rotron on the way up from True. He has stopped droning for now. Is he really going to go for this again? Is he really just going to try and do the exact same build? Well, there's 5 more workers, so that's a little bit more hopeful. 10 more workers. Alright, so we are going to see True continue to drone this time around. We are going to see a little bit of a different game between these two players. Again, the first 2 games are going very much the same way from both times around, obviously with a bit of a better defense from Neeb the second time. We are going to see these 4 adepts going across, and actually we're going to see the Dark Shrine coming down as a follow-up. So Neeb is also going to change his build-up as well. For the third game in a row, it looks to be Resonating Glaives, obviously, but it's not going to be that fast third base. It's going to be a Dark Shrine coming down, and that's going to allow Neeb here to do a bunch for extra damage. He'll basically have a second wave of aggression where he'll hope to just get a little bit extra done as the game continues. He's going to split up his adepts 2 by 2, and he's just going to try and target down a few workers here, a few workers there in the main and natural, and just try and do as much as he can. I mean, 7, 8 workers killed, and 9 workers killed at the end there. I mean, that's actually pretty darn decent. 9 workers killed for 4 adepts. I'll take that any day of the week as True. Oh, is this the part where he just starts massing up units? It might be. One interesting thing from True is I think he's realizing the Dark Shrine, though. I mean, he saw the lack of a third base for now. So he's seen the lack of a third base. He saw only 4 adepts. And so he's saying, well, this is different. And why is it different? You know, what are you doing for it to be different? And so he thinks the Dark Shrine is a possibility. And so we do see Spore Crawlers starting to be added on. There's that third Nexus coming down now from Neeb again. It will be later than the previous games just because he has got that Dark Shrine coming up. Another wave of aggression basically being enabled for himself as you see the Warp Prism coming on the map. And that's where those Dark Templar are going to be coming in from. 4 DTs starting to warp in, then a few of them might start to walk into the bases. Ooh, Archons! Interesting. Is that because he saw something here with the probes? With the adepts? No. He hasn't seen anything. He hasn't seen spores or anything, so he's just going to go straight into Archons. Interesting decision. Did maybe True scout the Dark Shrine? No, he hasn't. Interesting. I mean, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued what made him walk in Archons straight. I mean, Archons are really good for harassing actually against kind of Ling Roach. They harass surprisingly well, so it's not really that kind of, you know, it's not even that bad a thing from Neeb that he does this, but it's just interesting that he doesn't even try with the Dark Templar, you know? Anyway, some damage being done there against the Zerglings. Nice trades out of Neeb. His third base being set up. This fourth base does come down at the gold from True, so this is something we'll be seeing more and more often. Players trying to utilize the gold base here on Galactic Processes. 3 drones going down to this Warp Prism Archon harassment. And again, just going to actually move that Spore Crawler into position over towards this right-hand side. So Spore Crawler going to move into position over towards the right. We've got Overlord going to sit up top. And a +1 melee upgrade continue to come in from True as well right now. Baneland Nest coming down as well in the back of the natural expansion. And these couple of Archons going to be unloading and just again seeing what they can do. Just try and target down a few more units. Lings coming in. Doing a little bit more damage, but in the end, forcing it to be turned away. So Zergling's going to be taking down these rocks. That's something Neeb will see happening. So he knows this is happening and we'll see what his response will be. It's interesting because he can't actually see over to the other side of the rocks because of the line of sight blockers to actually kill those Zerglings. So it's a little bit annoying, so you need some high ground vision to stop that. As we see, Drew, he can take down his own back rocks? No, he's just running around with these Zerglings, seeing what he can find. Those 2 Archons still around. Currently just regenerating some shields as Neeb moving around himself. Going to go over to the left side now. We'll check the 4th base while doing so. Of course, he doesn't know about the gold base yet unless he sees the high ground creep spread. He doesn't go close enough, however, so doesn't see the high ground gold base just yet. As we'll be seeing the Archon dropping down, lifting up, dropping down. These Archons, man, 15 kills on one. Can't click on the other in time to figure out how many kills that one has, but I imagine something similar. So again, good damage throughout the game so far, as he's just going to be trying to pick off a Overseer here, but his Archons again low on shields. Needs to take a few moments to let those regenerate. So everyone's going to be moving around the map from True still, so still looking for potential openings and so on throughout this game. And we've seen a few Banelands starting to morph in right now as Neeb going to keep on coming across this map with this Warp Prism. So he continues to move across this map right now. We see some gates coming up to this side. He's actually going to wall off this position, which is something you don't see too often either. And he's actually maybe just going to drop these Archons off. I mean, one of the benefits of this build is he actually has a lot of Archons from the very start of the game. I love this. He's actually just setting up multiple walls, so he's making sure that everywhere is going to be kind of double walled off. So even if the rocks go down, he's going to have like another way to kind of, you know, still defend that sort of position. As we see this Overlord going to be moving forward, 3 Banelands, 2 Zerglings. Moving on in, we actually always see Bane and drop in towards the third base. It's actually going to catch 10 workers already, so already some damage done. And now into the natural. Neeb going to have to keep an eye on his minimap for things like this because he doesn't want to be losing workers. We're going to see actually the... oh no! Another 10 workers going down. That's painful. We also see the Contaminate on the Robo, so the Immortal production going to be slowed down a little bit here. 24 workers killed by 2 Baneland drops. Those are some very effective drop play. That's some very effective drop play now out of True. That puts him into, well, it's just a bit of an advantage as Neeb. Well, he's gonna have to play against. He's gonna have to play a very careful game here. He's actually playing against a big Ling Bane play style, so it's a very swarmy sort of style. So he has to be very cautious with the engagements he takes. It's actually a very hard kind of composition to engage against because there's just so many units coming in. You have to make sure that you're always taking the correct fights in the correct places, and so on and so on. Immortal's going to be joining up together here with these a couple of few adepts, the Archons as well. See a couple of extra DTs going to be warping in here and getting ready to join up. A lot of Baneland's going to morph in down on the low ground, so True going to be getting ready to go up this ramp and see what he can get up to. And more Zerglings still just left at home to defend, kind of drops, etc. But here you go, big Baneland attack up this side. I mean, Neeb is all the way to the north, so he's completely out of position already. A Bane drop in the natural expansion is actually doing a little bit to get started. Splits away with the Adepts, and well, there's a few Baners left. It's actually not going to do too much, killing off a few extra Adepts there. That wasn't so bad, and Archons here now will defend. And that was a lot of gas poured into that attack from True, which, well, it did a little bit, but not too much. And we're just going to immediately see the wall off being replaced there. So, True. He's playing this very annoying style though, because now he's going to go into the left-hand side. I mean, this is the sort of play style that True absolutely loves to play. Counter-attack heavy, just all over the map. Look at this, Archons though, counting backwards, and Archons are kind of one of the big counters to this Zergling heavy style. They trade so well against all of these Zerglings. You can see the 4th base obviously does go down here, but he does clean up a lot of units while doing so. And Neeb's army is getting stronger and stronger. It's a very good fighting force, and so True has to be careful, because if Neeb gets to a point where he's just going to be kind of able to attack across the map, that could be very scary, and he is still harassing with these Archons. 20 plus kills apiece on those. That is very, very painful for True throughout those games. Those Archons are having the time of their lives. So see those Lings just going to be collecting together, coming in towards this right side. Going to try and bust up here once again. True still being super aggressive. Oh, has a little bit of a thing. Doesn't know if he wants to do it. Nice force field by Neeb. That's a great defense there, actually. And that will help him hold on for a while. Maybe an overextension with the triple overcharge. Oh no, here are Archons. One of them goes down, 29 kills, and the other still survives. So much damage being done here by Neeb by those 2 Archons in the War Prism. I'm going to have to replace one of them now, though, unfortunately, as it did go down. I think resources lost is, yeah, definitely going to be Neeb favoured. But he does have to make sure he gets up into his 4th base, etc. soon. I mean, True's mining out a gold base. He's got his own 4th base to fall back on as well when that gold mines out, or other bases. Another nice little attack up the ramp here with from True, but that's actually not going to do much because Neeb's defense is just so good. Just has to make sure his Archons don't get too surrounded here too quickly, like those 2 over there. If they were clumped up a little bit better like the other 2, it would have been alright from the start. But either way, we have a big fight to the top side as well, and actually Neeb is going to be caught maybe a little bit off guard here as this engagement begins. He gets fully surrounded, only 1 force field goes down, he's going to lose a lot of his army. That 4th base has to be cancelled. He's got Archons coming in from the right-hand side now as well as he continues to try and fight against this. Lings and Banes continue to crash on through, and Archon going to come back from the other side of the map, but it's not going to be enough. That's going to be GG right there. And True is going to take game number 3, and